All right, quick review of this week. Let's take a look. 17 through 20. Find a value that completes the square. So if I just ask you, find a value that completes the squared, I'm going to say, all right, my first number has to be a 1, right? Which it is. Then I see the 12R, so I ask myself, what's the half of positive 12? Then I'm going to say positive 6, right? The half of positive 12. Now the numbered that complete the square. So keep in mind, if I just ask you, find a value that completes the squared, right? I'm asking what's 6 squared. In this case, my answer will be 36. That's it. The value that completes the square is 36. Now, what if I ask you, rewrite as a perfect square? What I will expect you to write will be r plus 6. You guys see where the plus 6 came from? R plus 6 squared. Now, because we cannot type exponents, I'm just going to write r plus 6 twice. The same parentheses twice. All together, no spaces, just all together. After that, on Tuesday, we talk about how to solve by completing the square. And then I said, I want everything with the letter on the left side, everything that doesn't have a letter. So this minus 82, I'm going to move it to the other side as a plus 82. So I have p squared plus 14p, let me leave a space in there, equals 72, right? Negative 10 plus 82, 72. Now, if there was a number in front of the p squared other than 1, divide everything by that number. So if there was a 3 at the front, divide everything by 3. Right. Now, in this case, I don't have anything other than 1, so I'm good. Then I ask myself, what's the half of positive 14? The half of positive 14 is positive 7. Now, what's 7 squared is 49. So let me add 49 to each side. And the reason why is because the left side will be a perfect square, right? The left side is p plus 7 all squared equals 72 plus 49 is 121. So I'm going to solve this by completing the square. I want to get rid of the squared. I want the p plus 7 by itself. I don't want it all squared. The way I undo exponents is with square roots. So I'm going to say p plus 7 is plus or minus 11. Notice I did the square root on each side. So that's why I said p plus 7 is plus or minus 11. So my p will be negative 7 plus or minus 11. Notice I moved the 7 over. Don't forget to switch the sign. So my solutions will be 4 and negative 18. Right? Negative 7 plus 11 and negative 7 minus 11. So 4 and 18. And then we came and we said, all right, we could talk about discriminant. Now, discriminant, I need the right side equal to 0. So my plus 5, my positive 5, let me move it over as a negative 5. So that gives me 3b squared plus 6b plus 3 is equal to 0. So my a value is going to be 3, my b value is going to be 6, and my c value is going to be 3. And then we talk about a discriminant being the formula b squared minus 4 times a times c. So I have 6 squared minus 4 times 3 times 3. I know 6 squared is 36. There's minus. Then I multiply this out. 4 times 3, which is 36. And my discriminant in this case is 0, right? 36 minus 36 is 0. So if I ask you, find a discriminant, 0. Now, if I ask you, state the number and type of solutions, right? We talk about this on your notes because my discriminant is 0. My answer will be two imaginary, so, I mean, no, my bad. Because my discriminant is 0, I was doing it if my discriminant was negative. Because my discriminant is 0, my answer will be 1 real solution. Okay? Because the discriminant is 0. And then yesterday we talked about the quadratic formula. So I want everything on the left side. I want the right side equal to 0. So I have 6n squared minus 4n minus 112 is equal to 0. So that gives me that my A value is 6, my B value is a negative 4, and my C value is a negative 112. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to work the discriminant. B squared minus 4 times A times C. So I have negative 4 squared minus 4 times 6 times negative 112. I know negative 4 squared is 16 minus, in my multiplication, there's a negative sign. The negative sign comes to the front, so I have a plus sign instead. Now 4 times 6 times 112, my answer is 2,688. Plus 16 is 2,704. All right, that's my discriminant. But now, in this case, I'm going to get the square root of that. And I'm going to say the square root of 2,704 is positive or negative 52. Okay, now the reason why, because now I'm going to use the whole formula. I remember the formula. I gave it to you guys and I said, there's a bad boy that goes to a so-called radical party because the boy was being square. He lost a chance with 4 awesome chicks. Everything was over at 2 a.m. So negative B, that's what we start with. My B is a negative 4. So the negative of a negative, I'm going to have 4, positive 4, plus or minus 52 over 12. Right? 2 times A, my A was 6, so 12. And then I start by looking at my whole numbers. I'm like, oh, I can divide them all by 4. So I'm going to divide them all by 4. So I'm going to say this thing simplifies because I'm going to divide everything by 4. So it simplifies to 1 plus or minus 13 over 3. Okay, so my answers are going to be 1 plus 13 over 3 and 1 minus 13 over 3. So I'm going to say my first answer is 14 over 3. For my second answer to begin with, I get negative 12 over 3. So I'm just going to call that negative 4. Simplify your fractions, right? One of them did stay as a fraction. The other one become a whole number. And that's it.